Hi Madrona students, I have a geometry lesson for you today. It's called Angles Made with a Transversal. For this lesson, you'll need a piece of blank white paper. You'll need a protractor, a ruler, about 4 colored pencils, your graphite pencil, and a pair of scissors. It's also nice to have a piece of construction paper that contrasts your white paper. I have a piece of black because I like the way that the colors show up, but it's up to you. So, the way that this works is we need to create some lines on our page. You know that angles are formed when you have intersecting lines. And today we're going to look at what happens when you have a pair of parallel lines and then you cut those lines with a transversal. To make parallel lines on your paper, take your ruler and make sure that the edge of the ruler is flush against one of the edges of your paper. So I'm going to draw a line across my page like this so that this line is parallel to the edge of the paper, and then I'm going to give myself some space before I make my next line. The wider the space between your lines, the bigger your angles will be, so it's up to you. I'm going to draw a line going that way. Now I can cut these parallel lines, these lines that will never run into each other, right? That's what makes them parallel. They always have the same amount of space between them. I can cut them with an intersecting line like this. I can play around with the steepness. I can come at it from this side. I think I'm going to cut my parallel lines right here. So this line that intersects both of the parallel lines is called a transversal. Okay, now I can see many angles. How many angles can you see? I see some over here. I see some over here. If you had the lesson with the plane and the box of sticks with parallel lines, you might remember that we call the angles on the outside of the parallel lines exterior angles, and the ones that are on the inside interior angles. I'm going to pay attention to the exterior angles on this side first. I'm noticing that there are 2 angles formed when these 2 lines intersect. I'm noticing that one looks smaller than a right angle and one looks bigger than a right angle. Perhaps you know the names. Can you name the angle that is smaller than 90 degrees? Acute. I'm going to color my acute angle this blue color. Now, if I look at the other exterior angles on this side, there's another acute angle that's formed. Guess what? It has a special relationship with this one, so I'm going to color it the same color. These 2 angles are called alternate exterior pairs. I'm going to write alternate exterior. Alternate exterior, or I can abbreviate with AE. These 2 are alternate exterior pairs. Guess what? There are 2 more. I'm going to take orange and I'm going to color this obtuse angle orange. This is my other exterior angle, and it has a partner. Perhaps you can find it. Look at the other exterior angles. Do you see it? There it is. Alternate refers to the side of the transversal. So, if this is our transversal, these 2 are on either side of the transversal from one another. AE and AE. These 2 are alternate exterior, these 2 are alternate exterior. Now, let's look at the interior ones. I'm going to take a different color. I'm going to look at these angles and these angles. I'm noticing that there is an acute angle over here. I'm going to color it. And I'm noticing that it has a partner on the other side of the transversal right here. I'm going to color it the same color because they are pairs. They are alternate interior pairs. All right, alternate interior down here. Alternate interior. Now, what about the obtuse angles? I'm going to take my other color and color it in. Okay. And here's its partner. Alternate interior angle pairs. I'm labeling them AI to help me remember their names. Now, if you want to stop here and you want to get your white paper, your colored pencils, and get going, you can find your alternate interior and exterior angle pairs, color them in, make a pretty design. Just make sure that your partners have the same color. Something else that you can do is you can take your protractor. I know a lot of you enjoy measuring angles, and you can measure the angles. So let's see, I want to measure this obtuse angle. So I'm going to make sure my circle in the center matches the vertex of my angle. So that's where the two sides intersect. And I also want to make sure that this line across the protractor matches the sides of my angle. So if I'm measuring my green angle right here, the obtuse one, I know that one of the sides is over here, and that's where 0 is going to start, and then it ends over here. It's greater than 90 degrees because it's obtuse, so I need a number that's bigger than 90, right? So I go, make sure it's matched up, and it looks like it's a little bit more than 140 degrees. So if this is 145, maybe that's 142. So 142 degrees. While I'm here, I could measure this acute angle, but I would start reading it from over here, right? It would start at 0 here. I would read the number on the side that is smaller than 90 because it's an acute angle. So you can do that as a follow-up. That's a fun choice. The other thing that I like to do with these types of angles is take my construction paper and I take my angle paper and my scissors and I can cut them out. You can explore the relationships among these angles after cutting them out. Now, okay, so I've kind of rough cut them out in an oval shape. It's really helpful to make sure that your sides of your angle stay straight, and I like to do a curved cut around the opening of the angle so it's really clear after I cut the angle out what the sides are and what the angle is. Sometimes when you cut straight across you end up with triangles and then it's super confusing what angle you're talking about. Wow, look at this obtuse angle. It is very obtuse. So I can cut off the white a little bit more, but again, I'm just gonna make sure it's a curved cutout so that I know that these are the sides of my angle and this is the angle I'm talking about. So there's an alternate exterior angle, and then I have an alternate interior angle. I can compare them. What do I notice when I lay them side by side? What do I notice when I put them on top of each other? And then these are the other two that came with them. So I can notice the relationship that they have all together, what kind of angle do they make when you put them all together? I wonder. Could you label it? Something else you can do if you have alternate interior, alternate exterior, you can think about what angle do they make together? Do the other alternate interior with alternate exterior angles do the same thing? What happens when you do this? That's interesting. Okay, what about the other four? I'm going to cut them out, and because I have colors to remind me of the pairs that go together, I can compare the pairs. On paper, it's hard to compare them. You can visually compare them, but once you cut them out, you can actually lay them on top of each other and compare them. So now I have my blue one from the other side, the other exterior, and this alternate exterior. I can lay them on top of each other and discover something. I wonder what happens when I take the other colors, my green one, my alternate interior. I wonder if that's true for the other ones. I wonder if you can find out. The other thing that you can do, since you have this nice construction paper, you can get a glue stick and glue them. You can name the types of angles. You can cut out some more, make more transversal angles. You can see what relationships they have to each other. Do you remember the different kinds of angles that are formed when you have pairs? Let's see, maybe we should do these ones, So remember, we have lots of different types of angles. I'm gonna make a list here, and so when you do your follow-up to this, maybe you could search for these relationships. Remember, we have 0 angles. We have right angles. We've talked about acute. We've talked about obtuse. You'll remember we have reflex angles. I wonder if you can find a reflex angle. We've had whole angles. You've seen complementary. I wonder if any of these angles are complementary to one another. We've had supplementary. I wonder if any of them are supplementary angles. And then what else? Have we gotten all of them? If I'm missing one, you let me know. If you forget what any of these mean, guess what? You can find that information in a dictionary or an encyclopedia. You can also ask a friend, or when we talk at our conference, you can show me the work you've done and we can talk about it. I'm wondering if you want to make a poster, if you want to go ahead and draw these transversals and play around with the angle of steepness. I wonder what happens when you make a transversal like this, or going this direction. I can't wait to hear about it. And please, please, please show your family, show your parents, and share with us how you do this at your conference. Have fun.